with us every last Friday night of the month. Cruise the airwaves and savor the sound on Radio Café. A place where we vibe to the rhythms and savor the beats, from hidden gems to classic all-stars. On Radio Café. Kick back and enjoy the ride. Experience the flavor through sound. On Radio Café.
This is Falcon with KPFA. Here on 94.1 FM in Berkeley, 88.1 FM in Fresno, 97.5 FM in Santa Cruz, and don't forget now 94.3 down in Monterey. So you all are going to be all over this state right now. But right now, listeners, audience, we have a band called Pazifico that comes and resides in the county of Sonoma, I believe from a town called Hillsburg. But now I just have to tell everybody that we're going to let this band do what they do, and it's going to sound good. So stay tuned. Pazifico, take over.
Thank you. We're Pazifico. Thank you, KPFA. Thank you, the Arlene Francis Center, Martin, Colleen, everybody that put this together. Really means a lot to us from the bottom of our hearts.
To rearrange.
Dope.
lose it with the music. I choose it and hope to never lose it. Please carry me far in the way, far from the spaces where I want to stay. Get the grip on yesterday's memories, cause they're great at the dance hall. After I got married by my side, she hops in the side, we go for alright. Yes, we gonna burn our night, then listen to the sounds of the guitars cry. It's a fight, I'm telling you. Put on your headphones, let your music flow through. Just no matter what I do, say that I always stay true. Bounce to tune. Spin the look, it's the message of the ocean, like the waves crashing down on the grains. When I'm down and listen to the sounds of Pazifico, I feel no pain. It's a shame in the game, it's hard to maintain a good frame and not be lame. But me, I said, we're gonna leave love music and fight all the pain that goes. I said, I said, I said, I said, I said, I said, when the music goes down, it goes. I said, I said, I said, I said, I said, the music goes on. Got a couple more for you guys. We are Pazifico out of Sonoma County, California, bringing the love straight to you. So thank you guys so much. some Malibu's. If you don't want it now, we can drink it for later. But I really ought to know right now before I ought to move. I spin with the Malibu's, join roof and while I'm singing the blues. Turn down, we never will. I spin with the Malibu's, join roof and while I'm singing the blues. Turn down, we never will. Mama told me when I was a kid, life's a dream, he'll get what you give. Most kids want luxury, I want love, respect, and peace. Little him in a quarter ounce of green, smoking on a doobie in the alley and scene with fast sex, that's Hollywood. 101 South, now I probably should kick back till the quarter of 3, play shuffleboard at John and Six. Tequila for me, please. I spin with the bottle of booze, joint wolf at while I'm singing the blues. Turn down, we never win, just like a Range Rover headed up here. I spin with the bottle of booze, I spin with the bottle of booze. I spin with the bottle of booze, I spin with the bottle of booze.
Awesome. You guys rule. KPFA in the house. Pazifico in the building. All right. How much time we got left, Miguel? All right. Cool. All right, we got one more for you guys. Yeah, we got exactly one more. It's perfect. Thank you, KPFA, the Arlene Francis Center, Colleen, Martin, everybody here helping us out. It really means a lot to us. And, you know, that's what it's all about, spreading the love. So let's do it.
listen? When can you listen? Yeah, I got you on my mind. Like wine saying you are so fine. I poured me a glass to watch the time fly. We are destined to reach the sky. Oh my, she asked why are you my type? Cause baby I'm sweet, I'll do whatever you like. Alright, we sipping blues like we so cool. Living, loving, vibing every minute it's true. I love you. I love you. I love you. A cloud of smoke follows everywhere she go. I race it to the sun. In time she's feeling no, oh no. Together we can never lose hope. Popped up forever through life. You go got the ropes. Flow on my carpet we go. Realize you live in the times you took. Then give it back. What I need the most. When I speak of you, there's no need to boast. So dope. We love you. We love you. We love you. We are Pazifico and we love you. We are Pazifico and we love you. We are Pazifico and we love you. Hey girl, yeah, I got you on my mind. Like wine saying you are so fine. I bought me a glass and watch the time fly. We are destined to reach the sky. Oh my, she asked why are you my type? Cause baby I'm sweet, I'll do whatever you like. Alright, we sipping blues like we so cool. Living, loving, vibing every minute too. I love you. 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 We are at Pazifico. Thank you, KPFA, Arlene Francis Center. We love you all. Spread some love.
You're tuned in to Radio Café.
Once again, this is Falcon on KPFA 94.1 FM on La Onda Bajitas Radio Café, which airs on the last Friday of every month between 8 and 10 p.m. all over California. Everywhere from here in the Bay on 94.1 and now most recently on 94.3 FM in Monterey. So tonight we have this group right here, Pazifico, who you all just heard and listened to. And I'd like you guys quickly to introduce yourselves. You are the lead singer, Isaiah. Would you like to introduce yourself, Isaiah?
Sure. I'm Isaiah Lopez, lead singer, rhythm guitar.
Julio Gomez, guitar, lead guitar.
Nick Heimer, low-end management. Winslow Kelly, drums.
I'm Wade. I play congas and percussion.
Right. All right. So you guys all seem like you guys are all in the pocket, like you've been playing together for a minute. How did you guys all come together? Would you guys like to tell us how this band Pazifico came to be?
Yeah, for sure. So Pazifico started about 2 years ago, and it was with people that used to play with my family back in the day. Unfortunately, we lost one of our uncles in 2000. But Julio right here, lead guitar player, used to play with him. So it's just kind of coming full circle. He used to play with my dad, and now he's playing with me. And I couldn't ask for a better group of people to play with. Everybody else just kind of fell into place. Julio and Winslow have been playing for a long time, about 10, 15 years. Nick, he's a new member, and so is Wade, but they just fit in perfect like family. So we couldn't ask for a better group of guys.
I do gotta ask, have you guys put together any music? Are you guys planning on putting together an album if you have not? And what might that album sound like?
So yeah, we're working on getting in the studio here pretty soon in July or August. And it's probably going to be more of an EP, probably 5 or 6 songs. And we focus more on reggae, but we love to play funk, hip hop, rap, rock, a little bit of everything. So you can expect a little bit of everything in there. We're trying to create our own genre in a sense.
That was my next question, is the spirit you guys got right now. It is good vibes, you know? It's Irie, man. So I hear the reggae vibe. I hear that little bit of punk. I heard you guys are going to be opening for Bad Brains, Human Rights, Thursday. All right, 3 Disciples. What else do you guys have coming up? Do you have anything coming up in May?
So in May, we have a show here at the Arlene Francis Center. And if you haven't been here before, it's one of the best places in the world. Everybody's so accepting and kind, and it's just a family vibe every time you come. So May 7th, we'll be playing here with Quest Clown, Professor Gable, and Mr. Lee. And we got DJ Jima on the 1s and 2s. So it's going to be a great time and a great vibe. So come out and check it out. We also are playing the Geyserville Gun Club May 21st and April 23rd, which I believe is next Saturday at Corner Project Ales and Eats in Geyserville.
One last question. How can people find you? Like, if people want to listen to what you're doing, see what you're doing, keep in touch, reach out, maybe even book you, how are they going to find you?
So we have a website they can contact us at, is pazificotheband.com, Pazifico, theband.com. And you can reach us on there. You can see our upcoming events. We're doing a lot of promotion on there, and we got a lot of cool things coming up.
Well, thank you very, very much. So stay tuned, everyone. You are listening to Radio Café on 94.1 FM, part of La Onda Bajita. Every Friday night, we always come with it. So thank you for tuning in. Always tune in and stay tuned.
You're tuned in to Radio Café.
All right, this is Falcon with Radio Café on KPFA 94.1, a part of La Onda Bajita. And right now, person who's going to be taking control of the stage is Flaco El Jandro. Now, everybody, let us begin.
Siguiendo el susurro de tu voz. Mano, entonces
espalda, lento y con calma atravieso montañas. Quiero que me mates a besos, pero de amor y limón. Mordiditas en el cuello que te hacen temblar por el fiebre y calor que me das. Fascinante, muy brillante es el color de tu piel, suave y dulce, coco, agave y miel. Yo echo la leña, tú enciendes la candela, mientras quema la tierra que muestra hirviendo con vos. Tú eres mi reina y no quiero que temas, no hay mal que por bien no venga, mi amor. Siguiendo el susurro de tu voz. Tú eres mi reina y no quiero que temas, no hay mal que por bien no venga, mi amor. All right, thank you very much. My name is Flaco El Jandro. I'm transmitting to you all the way from KPFA. We're actually in Santa Rosa right now, but wherever you're listening, whether it be in Monterey or in Santa Cruz, or in Berkeley, or in Santa Rosa, or where else? Is there other places? That's all I know so far. But thank you very much for listening. This next song is called Heridas. My bad. Rewind selector. Was it ready? Is it alright if I turn on my guitar? Tus caricias, tus palabras y sonrisas que nunca volveré a ver. Y me arde, y me arde, y me arde, y me arde. Todas las heridas con el tiempo se pueden olvidar. Entre drogas y mentiras me aburrí de la rutina, de hablar y después pelear, de gritar y después besarte. Fue un ciclo más vicioso que yo. Y nunca perdí fe en esta unión único. Hasta cuando te marchaste me di cuenta que tú y yo éramos almas muy distintas, como colores que iluminan verde, blanco, negro y azul. Y me arde, y me arde. ¿cómo se pueden olvidar? Ahora sí vamos a seguir con las cumbias que dice más o menos así. Soy de ningún lado y de varios países, perdido entre las ramas cerca de mis raíces. No conozco a mi familia, pero amo a mis padres. Soy reiterada, tú y yo somos iguales. Soy un pez fuera de agua, pájaro en su nido. No encuentro la palabra y tengo mucho que decir. No sé quién soy ni mi razón de existir. Si sé pa' dónde voy, pero no por dónde ir. ¿De dónde vengo y pa' dónde voy? ¿Qué es lo que busco? ¿Qué quiero? ¿Quién soy? Hasta yo mismo no encuentro respuesta, pero a pesar de eso yo no soy tu presa. Soy un pez fuera de agua, pájaro en su nido. No encuentro la palabra y tengo mucho que decir. No sé quién soy ni mi razón de insistir. Si sé pa' dónde voy, pero no por dónde ir. ¿De dónde vengo y pa' dónde voy? ¿Qué es lo que busco? ¿Qué quiero? ¿Quién soy? Hasta yo mismo no encuentro respuesta, pero a pesar de eso yo no soy tu presa. ¿De dónde vengo y pa' dónde voy? Como un perro callejero yo no sé quién soy. ¿De dónde vengo y pa' dónde voy? Llevo la realidad dentro del corazón. ¿De dónde vengo y pa' dónde voy? Me hace falta el aire pero no la razón. ¿De dónde vengo y pa' dónde voy? Perdido en la enigma es donde estoy. Yo no soy nadie, no vengo de ni un lugar, pero soy todos los colores menos uno y esa es la ausencia de color. Soy todos los colores menos uno y esa es la ausencia de color. Soy todos los colores menos uno y esa es la ausencia de color. Soy todos los colores menos uno y esa es la ausencia de color. Thank you very much. My name is Flaco El Jandro. This is going to be my last song for the evening. Thank you. I appreciate that. With all my heart. From the bottom of my heart and the top of my heart, to all of them. La song es called Mi Encendedor. Dice más o menos así. ¿Dónde está mi encendedor? ¿En dónde lo dejé? churro ya forjado, pero no tengo lumbre para proceder. ¿Dónde está mi encendedor? ¿Dónde lo dejé? Ya chuto para fumar, pero no tengo mi lighter para saber si. No encuentro mi encendedor, en donde lo dejé, debajo del sillón, no arriba de la tele. ¿Quién me la robó? ¿Quién me traicionó? ¿Dónde está mi lighter? Los meros cumbianderos del Valle de Salinas. Ya revisé mi coche y también en mi cantón. Ya busqué en los bolsillos de cada pantalón. Lo acabo de comprar y no tengo otro varo para disparar. ¿Dónde está mi encendedor? ¿Dónde lo dejé? Ya charlo para fumar, pero no tengo mi lighter para estar al 100. ¿Dónde está mi encendedor? ¿Dónde lo dejé? El churro ya forjado, pero no tengo lumbre para proceder. Esa hierbita mala no se va a encender sola. Préndeme la candela y súbele a la rocola. Si nadie tiene fuego, pues ni modo que hacer. Piden sus cerillos en el oso, que ya no hay otra manera, pues de aquí. ¿Dónde está mi encendedor? ¿Dónde lo dejé? Ya listo pa' fumar, pero no tengo mi lighter para estar al 100. ¿Dónde está mi encendedor? Forjado, pero no tengo lumbre para proceder. ¿Dónde está mi encendedor? ¿Dónde lo dejé? Saca la plumeta ya listo para fumar, pero no tengo mi lighter para estar al 100. ¿Dónde está mi encendedor? ¿Dónde lo dejé? El churro ya forjado, pero no tengo lumbre para proceder. Aquí lo tenía hace ratito. Aquí lo tengo. Aquí estaba en la chamarra. Qué bueno.
This is Falcon with KPFA. You are listening to Radio Café on La Onda Bajita on KPFA 94.1. And right now I have Flaco El Jandro. I know I'm Flaco too. You just came out all the way from Salinas.
Salinas. I
From
live,
Salinas.
Well, from Salinas, but I live in Marina right now, which is like slightly outside of Salinas. But it's because I'm going to school there at CCUP.
Okay.
It's cheaper than living in Salinas.
Yeah, okay. So, thank you for coming all the way. But tell our listeners a little bit about this great music we just heard. How did it get here? What inspired that out of you? Where did it come from?
Well, I have a lot of different influences, and I've played in a lot of different types of projects. I played in like metal bands and reggae bands and cumbia bands and and grupos like regionales, like Mexican music. So when I make my own music, I try to incorporate a little bit of all of that without making it too much of like a menjurje, like a crazy soup of too much stuff. So I like to do like a little bit at a time, which is right now what you heard, like half like indie, like rock en español stuff, and then like cumbias, you know. And it's a little representative of like the show that I kind of do, because I like to make it like a show where there's like a little bit of something for everybody. There's like corridos, there's rock, and then there's like dance songs.
And you do it in a way, or at least you did it tonight, in a way that flowed smoothly. It wasn't
too much at once.
not at all. It was perfect.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about you? Where'd you come from? How did you get into making music?
Into making music in general? Yeah.
What's your musical story?
I don't know. I think when I was a kid, my mom just played a lot of music in the house. She played a lot of like Leodan and Los Freddys and like old school music like that. And my sister played a lot of music in the house and stuff. And so I don't know. I just really liked it. And I don't really have any like musicians or anything in my family. I don't know. So I'm not exactly sure how it is that I picked it up. But I remember my mom buying me like an acoustic guitar like for cheap, like at a garage sale, and like I would just make noise on it, and everybody thought that I was just gonna be making noise for the rest of my life. And then at some point I taught myself how to play guitar, and I surrounded myself with like other musicians at school and stuff, and so I learned a little bit from everybody, and that's how I got started.
Yeah. Okay. About how old were you when you first decided to take this more seriously? Because it seems like you were just evolving constantly. Was it a band or was it the solo project like you're doing here?
I mean, yeah, I kind of always had it in mind, like, that I wanted to do this as a career, because I wasn't, like, good at a lot of stuff when I was a kid. I wasn't good at math. I wasn't good at sports, or, like, I wasn't good at anything. So when I found out that, like, so when I took the time to, like, learn to, like, play guitar and, like, sing and stuff, like, that's the first, like, skill I ever, like, felt like I really developed. So by the time I was, like, 12 or 13, I had, like, a metal band, and we started playing, like, shows locally, and, like, just with that, even though we were just playing for like my parents and like whatever people were there, just from that, I don't think I ever had like a moment where I treated music like a hobby or like something that I just wanted to do on the side. I always took it like very seriously.
Okay, so it sounds like you've played in a lot of bands. So do you like playing more in a group, or do you like just doing the solo thing like you just did here more? What gets you more into that musical space where you're able to express yourself the most?
Well, right now in this lifetime, I'm doing my solo project. This is the Flaco El Jandro project. Then I also play with another band called Quien Sabe, which is a cumbia band, so straight up dance party. But was that your question? Or no, you said something else.
Which one gets your heart in the right spot more? The solo project you did here, or what you're doing with Quien Sabe?
It depends, because like when I'm creating, or like when I'm doing my own music, like I like to be, you know, like especially like recording or songwriter or anything like that. I like to, you know, either just like work with friends or by myself or whatever, you know. I feel like it's a different vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to performing, where I feel like performances should really be with like a live band, you know. That's where, like, because you feed off the energy of the other musicians, you feed off the energy of the crowd. Like there's a lot of components to it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Whereas like creating is a little bit different to me. You know what I mean?
So this solo project, do you have an intention of bringing a band behind it, or?
I actually do have a band. They're called Los Perros Callejeros. So like when we play live with the band, it's Flaco El Jandro plus Los Perros Callejeros.
Right.
And yeah, they just can't always make it.
I see.
But luckily I have my own little setup here for just that occasion.
Okay. Now, is this project right here, are you bringing it to listeners? Can listeners go online right now on Spotify or anything and listen to what you're doing? Or is this something that's going to be coming in the future? And is this something that is more intended to be heard in person or heard on an album, or are you trying to get it out there and disseminate it through the interwebs as best as you can?
I mean, it doesn't matter how people hear it, as long as they hear it. You know? I don't really care. But I'm on Spotify, and I'm on Apple Music and LimeWire and all those, you know, places.
Okay, so why don't you tell our listeners how they can find you and spell that out for them?
So it's Flaco, Flaco, El, like the, and then Jandro, which is like Alejandro, but without the Ale part. Yeah. All separate words. So Flaco El Jandro. And if you look me up on anything and you see a little picture of like a puppy, that's probably me.
Okay. All right.
It's not a joke. No,
okay.
That's real.
Okay, and so also your other music projects, Quien Sabe, they can find you
as
through
well.
That same page, or should they go to the direct things? How can everybody find everything that is you?
Everything that is me. I mean, you can find everything on my page. Everything that's me. But if you're looking for Quien Sabe, you could also look up. We spell it wrong. We spell it QIENSAVE, all one word.
All right.
Quien Sabe, and then yeah, we're on everything too. We're on Spotify, MySpace.
All right, perfect. Do you have any shows coming up starting in May?
Not at the moment. I'm working on some stuff in Salinas, but But no, nothing to announce at the moment. So maybe by the end of the month there might be something, but you have to check it on my IG and my whatever else.
All right, and people can find you
Tweeters.
social media through that same route.
Yeah. So I'm
Perfect.
on Tactic and all those things. TikTok, I mean.
Tactic, TikTok, all that kind of things.
Yeah.
TikTok, all right,
TikTok,
man.
Instagram, tweeters.
You got everything, man.
Yeah.
So, thank you very, very much for coming through. Thank you for bringing your music to the stage.
Thank you for having me, and thanks to Pedro for inviting me, and also, ¿cómo se llaman los dueños?
Pedro's not here.
He's
Pedro's
not here.
supposed to be.
He's here with us in spirit, though. So
Yeah,
that's
he
good.
is.
And I want to thank the Arlene Francis Center for having us in this beautiful space, and yeah.
One last question. Do you have any plans for any singles, upcoming albums, or music videos in the near future?
I have a single coming out at the end of the month. It's called No Te Pido Nada.
Okay.
It comes out on the 28th.
All right.
I'm not sure if that's the day, but it comes out like the 28th, 29th por ahí.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming through. Up next, we have Señor Gigio, and stay tuned.
You're tuned in to Radio Café.
All right. Right now we have Señor Gigio right here on Radio Café KPFA 94.1 FM. And he's going to grace the stage with what he does. So, stay tuned. Check it out.
Right on. I am Señor Gigio. I'm here from the Bay Area. I'm from all over, but today I drove from El Cerrito. And I guess whenever you guys are ready, I'm ready. I'm gonna do 2 songs that I released off my 2 last albums, and then I'm gonna get into 3 songs off my upcoming album, Funklore. But first, I'm gonna start off with Strange Days, which I released 2018, produced by Mr. Clean on my album, Heroes of the Gold Rush. Yeah. I said strange days to be an MC, but strange days to be a mic fiend. Strange days to be a hip-hop junkie. Strange days indeed. Strange days to be an MC, but strange days to be a mic fiend. Strange days to be a hip-hop junkie. Strange days indeed. Step into a world of rhythm and dramas, melodies and harmonies ringing the air with a hum, where thoughts take shape and feelings are something. If you live on the edge and you a lyrical monk. Okay, now I learned from the greats to rock my own style, perfected it. Master my flow and I bless the crowd and I'm proud and I'm swimming in the bay with sharks and killer whales. Pay dues. Look at the dirt on my fingernails. Okay, now what this game bout? Why these cats allowed to run their mouths to give these clowns a voice? Why the vets who paved the way giving you props today? Is it opposite day? I would have told you go back to the lab and originate something brand new. You soft and inoffensive, that's offensive to me. And MC used to have less to teach. Nowadays, everybody on the same bandwagon. One political party speaking the slang, hashtag and the risque topic of the day, but it's cliche. MCs are scared to really say what they want to say. Now I might get critical, but I'm not dissing you. I got a different view and it might hurt when I give it to you. Now strange days to be an MC, strange days to be a mic fiend, strange days to be a hip-hop junkie. Strange days indeed. Strange days to be an MC, strange days to be a mic fiend, strange days to be a hip-hop junkie. Strange days, yo. Strange days, but I rock the stage in strange ways. Jimi Hendrix saying a prayer while the flames blaze off the electric guitar. Yes, I'm hecka bizarre. It's a ritual every time when I connect to your hearts. It's like that. White, black, ghetto, suburban, Asian, Latino. They all relate to Señor Gigio. I evolve, never stagnate, procreate, not procrastinate, not fascinate the imaginative state of many. And how I do this must be supernatural. Maybe soul is sold to the devil out on the back roads like Robert Johnson. Nah, dog, this constant rocking. So deep in the music's like a loss of consciousness. I become one with it. I like to have fun with it. Get smart to it and I go dumb with it. Come on, I keep it funky cause most fools don't know the roots. Reducing the mic booth to a photo booth while I blow the roof. Strange days to be an MC, strange days to be a mic fiend, strange days to be a hip-hop junkie. Strange days indeed. Strange days to be an MC. Strange days to be a mic fiend. Strange days to be a hip-hop junkie. Strange days, yo. Strange days to be an MC in the Bay. When we all quarantine and the scene is decayed, and the ones left behind can't see eye to eye. I'm like a lumberjack and the force is petrified. Strange days, MCing on social media platforms, pumping rising stars, but their music is lukewarm. Used to be fresh like yes, y'all. Now it's a stress call. Where my yes man at, y'all? Oh, nobody brought food to the potluck. Yo, everybody wanna be cool at the top shelf. You trying to write a hit while I'm scribing the new folklore. And my beat selection is clean. Now, oh Lord, if I freestyle some, it might freak out your click. These cats do rehearse and they these counterfeit. I make it pop with a beatbox and a finger snap. Make you feel the blues when I sing my rap. And I bring it back. Strange days to be an MC. Strange days to be a mic fiend. Strange days to be a hip-hop junkie. Strange days indeed. Strange days to be an MC. Strange days to be a mic fiend. Strange days to be a hip-hop junkie. Strange. That was Strange Days. Thank you. Strange Days to be an MC. And this next one is called Swimming in the Bay. I released this in 2020 on my album, The Life Aquatic, produced by my good friend Aquaman, hence the title, The Life Aquatic. So let's get right into this. Santa Rosa, lovely to be here with you guys. And peace to everybody listening on the radio. Swimming in the bay. Yeah. If you a builder, you can network it up. If you a real one, you can come turf it up. If you a simp, you can get seasoned up. But if you's a shrimp, you might get eaten up. If you a blimp, you can get blown up. If you a pimp, you can get chose up. If you a square, you can get shown around. If you a true player, you can really hold it down. If you a bear, you can stand on your own. If you aware, the magic will all unfold. If you homesick, then you can get on out. If you too smart, go dumb with it now. You swimming in the bay. Hey, you swimming in the bay. You swimming in the bay. I said so much game, we wrote the code on the whole frame. You swimming in the bay. You swimming in the bay. I said so much game, we wrote the code on the whole frame. Come to them golden gates, pay the toll and stroll on through. Forget what you thought you knew. Here we do the impossible. We be ghost riding, gold mining, freedom fighting, spitting game, evolving, re-evolving, doors open, making change. Wear your sun and shade so you don't get starstruck. Keep a handkerchief in case the lenses get fogged up. Forget your tradition and the way you was brought up. Gain wisdom and gain from real players is bossed up. Hippies, gangsters, revolutionaries, esoterics, eccentrics, extraordinary gatekeepers who think deeper than your parents, born hustlers under the radar, prospering. Hey, hey, you swimming in the bay, come on. You swimming in the bay? I said so much game, we wrote the code on the whole frame. You swimming in the bay? You swimming in the bay? I said so much game, wrote the code on the whole frame. Come to them golden gates, pay the toll and stroll on through. Forget what you thought you knew. Here we do the impossible. We be ghost riding, gold mining, freedom fighting, spitting game, evolving, re-evolving, doors open, making change. If you a whale, you can get a lot of krill. If you a sea lion, you can bark for your meals. If you a mailman, then you can stack clientele. If you's a fair weather fan, get lost and sail. If you a hater, then you won't get no love. If you a lover, then you better spread that brub. If you a student, then you can get plentyism. There's a lot of fish in the sea, but we swimming in the bay, bruh. Hey, you swimming in the bay, come on. You swimming in the bay? I said so much game, we wrote the code on the whole frame. You swimming in the bay. You swimming in the bay. I said so much game, we wrote the code on the whole frame. Swimming in the bay. So that would be a song if we did that, you know, with a crowd of people, everybody would be going stupid and going dumb and having a good time. So those two songs, you know, yeah, well, hey, they're going dumb wherever you guys are at. Just make sure you're doing it safely. Yeah, and these last three songs I'm gonna do are off my upcoming album, Funklore. And so those last two songs that I did, like I said, they're already out. So we're gonna get into some new music. I believe by the time you guys are hearing this right now on the radio, the album will be out. The album's out April 22nd. So this is first one is called A Night's Quest to Quest. Test. Well, my damsel is restless. It's a matter of passionless stress. No culprit to blame, so I'm mad at myself. The guys may be who I am. Warrior with a code, yet they place me in this land of concrete highways with potholes and gas pumps, Walmarts, Costco's, and trash dumps. Okay. Hey, I try to fix it up. Add my touch, sprinkle some flair, and mix it up until it busts. Maybe I'm missing something. School days is over. Maybe I should have paid attention. Or maybe there's something special in this realm. So I'm stepping into the realm. Till I find a lesson to tell. If you make sense of yourself, on time echoes to tell. Till it don't resemble the trail, yo. I'm in search of the new urban men. I'm in search of a few good men. I'm in search of the folklore for poor folk. I'm in search of a porto for torn souls. I'm in search of the one and true religion. I'm in search of magicians and musicians. I'm in search of a safe haven for fair maidens. I'm in search of rare sacred gems. Just remember that you can't take it with you. And once you interpreting a friend or a mentor, then you're working from your mind's eye. Hope you believe in angels, even if you can't see them. Just remain faithful, cause every city's got a ghetto and every town has got ghosts in it. You might go around and provoke them if you won't, but if I must conform, then I'ma be a vagabond. Leave the bay in a flash, won't stop till I hit Camelot, or perhaps even a pyramid, hidden within the nooks, or a secret mystic library filled with forbidden books, or somebody somewhere in need of a hero or a healer, praying for me to be there and defeat the grim reaper, or a master teacher who needs a student to improve on, or an architect with some beats for me to move on. Old century melodies, essence of memory too long, but here I am bringing these generations the new songs. I'm in search of the new urban men. I'm in search of the underground movement. I'm searching for the perfect beat. I'm trying to find God on the streets. I'm in search of holy relics and vessels. I'm in search of a headbase for rebels. I'm in search of lost mystic tribes. I'm in search of the cool kind of vibe. You see, I'm kinda pissed at all the ancient nice pirates and every man who we idolize and him for all the mighty things he did, cause it was overkill. I'm also left behind for a heart of my caliber, so I'm a popper in my prime, so I'm proper with the rhyminating audience. The mind is godliness, divine rap is not a hobby, so mine cause I'm passionate. I built an altar so I could offer my service to the gods, recognize me like a foster child. Modern day King Arthur in the heart of the bay, sitting on a dock like a lighthouse over the harbor. Calling all cars, arcs, and flying saucers. What a fine time to conjure when existence is mundane as a general Monday. I busted with the cavalry, young guard, no buffet. This that funk lord for your trunk, man. Take you further to your mind while I run game. One take. I'm in search of the new urban myth. I'm searching for an alternative narrative. I'm searching for the missing link. I'm searching for a love potion to drink. I'm searching for the illest MCs. I'm searching for the ancestries. I'm searching for the right words to speak. I'm searching for the perfect beat. Thank you. That is A Nice Quest to Quest. I just released the music video for that 2 weeks ago. So go check that out. All these songs, most of my songs that you see me do I have music videos for. I'm doing all the music videos myself. I'm doing animation for it. And I strongly suggest and recommend to everybody listening to please get on YouTube. Go check out my YouTube channel. It's very prolific, and I have to say that myself because nobody else is going to toot my horn for me. And this next song is called Hakeem and Fatima. One of the themes of my album, Funk Lore, is that I wanted to tell stories. So this is a love story. Hakeem and Fatima. This is a story about love, about heartbreak, about redemption. Yeah. Hey yo, Hakeem is jaded. The young bull stay faded. Smoking mad trees like Northern Cali fire devastated. Depressed, disenchanted, and disassociative. But he wasn't always so damaged, he was an angel. The youngest of 5 brothers, cradled to be pure. He had a light that inspired others. All he had was hope and a scope because his family sheltered him and never showed him the ropes. Early on as an adult, he got his happy heart broke by a young lady who made him give his all to a ghost. She found an older man with money, so they often eloped. Hakeem fell to shambles and his heart turned to cold. Started living his life by chauvinist quotes.
Money over bitches and bros over
hoes. Will he ever love again? That's the question. Yeah. Fatima feels hopeless. The sister can hardly keep focus. 30 years young, single mama with 2 kids and 2 jobs and no time for hocus pocus. Romances, wine glasses were red roses. Divorced since 26. Her baby daddy couldn't cope with the real world pressures implosive. He chose drugs instead, now he's doing meth. Left Fatima to raise the children all by herself. So she's full-time survival mode, 25/8. Blindfolded in the cold in a constant state of primal wake. The flux of her head above water and going under. But deep down in her heart she wonders, will she ever or will she ever love again? Will she? Okay, look. Now peep game, the story gets deeper and deeper. Cause it ain't all over for Hakeem and Fatima. They were both born to be dreamers and overachievers. Destined to fall in love from the moment they meet up. Coded with God features and compatible presets. Complementary pieces of sweetness. Their genius uniqueness was what each of them needed. To balance out powers and weaknesses and become one. Cause love is only promised if they conquer their traumas. They personify pain with the opposite genre of gender. Love each other tender and time will heal all wounds, so have honor. Yeah. Hakeem. Yeah. Fatima. Yeah. Love again. That's the story, y'all. That's the story, y'all. So know that there is love after heartbreak. It's all a journey of the heart. The heart journey, it's all a journey of the heart. You know, if you let your heart take you there and you stay there, it'll keep taking you where you need to be. That's what I believe, and that's what I've experienced. And that's what Hakeem and Fatima experienced. So this last one I'm gonna do, it's a special song for me. And this is called Not As Little As You Think You Are. And again, this is all on my album, Funk Lore.
beneath the skies.
Yeah, not as little as you think you are. Here's looking at you, kid. Little old you in the big city by the blue, sitting on the pew in the foreign of the big old church, center of the universe. But you do not use your words, you feel foreign. You hardly ever speak, even when you pray to God. You don't really say a lot, cause you're solemn. Plus you probably figure that he busy anyway, dealing with much bigger problems. The city is a maze, the city is a grace, filled with people on their way to the top. And pushing come to shoving, always up and in a rush, and you don't want to interrupt them or cause to look at you and see you, so you frontin' like you're evil, cause you never graduated from college. Let your parents down, so you always summer friend would tell me, can you hear the universe calling you? You're not as little as you think you are. There's not one insignificant star up in the sky. Perfect placement, alignment. Even when you're alone, someone always sees you shining. You're not as little as you think you are. There's not one insignificant star up in the sky. Perfect placement, alignment. Even when you're alone, someone always sees you shining. Little old you living in a bitty town, living in the middle of nowhere. Belittling your cool, figure this is it for you. Just quit so you don't lose and be okay. Settle it for less, this is what you tell yourself, cause your generation wasn't meant for you. It's a much bigger planet with billions of people on it. You could never get started cause you're slower. And your family history is drained in poverty, so you could only live to be poorer. And die eventually, maybe live a century if you could gently keep composure. Don't stir up any fuss, do not kick up any dust. Just work and keep hush like they told ya. Cut up all your dreams, do not ponder what they mean or what the universe has in store for you. You're not as little as you think you are. There's not one insignificant star up in the sky. Perfect placement, alignment. Even when you're alone, someone always sees you shining. You're not as little as you think you are. There's not one insignificant star up in the sky. Perfect placement, alignment. Even when you're alone, someone always sees you shining. You're not as little as you think you are. Alright, y'all, sing along with me. Shine on, shine on, shine on, right on, shine on, shine on, shine on, right on. You're not as little as you think you are. There's not one insignificant star up in the sky. Perfect placement, alignment. Even when you're alone, someone always sees you shining. You're not as little as you think you are. There's not one insignificant star up in the sky. Perfect placement, alignment. Even when you're alone, someone always sees you shining. Shine on, shine on, shine on, right on. Thank you, thank you. Peace, peace. And that is my set.
Señor Gigio, thank you. Appreciate that music right there. That was real good music. Tell our listeners a little bit about where that music came from, just right now.
So those last three songs are off my album Funklore, and the last two, Hakima Fatima and Not As Little As You Think You are produced by B.I. Electric, aka Big Sean, from legendary San Francisco hip-hop group Bored Stiff. He's one of the founding members of that group. He lends a lot of production on my album. And the other track, A Night's Quest to Quest, is by The Architect, who is also another, founding legend, cat putting it down in the Bay Area. And my whole intention with Funklore was just to tell stories. So if you kind of see those last three songs are all stories, The first one I'm kind of like rapping from the perspective of a knight setting out on a journey. The second one is about love story, Hakeem and Fatima, what they're going through and how they find each other. And the last one, Not As Little As You Think You Are. The first verse, it's about feeling little in the city, and when that's not completely true, right? And then the second verse is about feeling little in a little town, which is even right. So that's what those songs are about.
So you seem to have like a real conscious intention to tell a certain story with a certain narrative in your work. What brought you to that point? Were you always making music in that manner with that kind of intention, with that mindful focus, or is this something that kind of evolved over time?
I think that's what drew me to music in the first place, and that's what drew me to rap, was to be able to tell stories. You know, I was always a very theatrical, dramatic person. You know, as a young kid, that's how I found my voice. You know, was to act things out. You know, let's say like if I couldn't explain what was going on with my parents, for instance, but I could act out to them. You know, if I could act out their scenario to them, then they got it. But instead of if I sat there and tried to explain it to them, like, hey, this is what you. But if I sit there and I act, you know. So I think I've always been naturally a storyteller, you know, and performer too. Yeah.
That storytelling goes beyond just the stage here. There's another thing you do. Would you like to let our listeners know about that? Because you tell stories both visually and verbally and using the written word, all combined into one. How's this all meld into one whole planet of art and sound?
Very good question. I mean, I'm a very visual person too, so it starts with the music for me, but I've always, you know, to everybody, anybody I'm trying to bring into my world, that's like, I try to, it's a very visual experience, so art is a very important part, you know, the visual art of it, and I do all the art for that. And for instance, like I believe what you're getting at with my album, Funklore, I have a comic book that goes with it. It's a 16-page comic book, and I wrote the story too, and it's based on 2 songs on my album, and there's 2 songs on my album that are about 2 characters that I made up, and I brought them together in the comic book. It's called Super Psychic Kitty Meets the Mummified Pharaoh.
What was the inspiration behind that project? Because that seems to be your most recent project. And folks should know a little bit about that, because you have talked a lot about how this all came together and so on and so forth. But this particular project with these characters, where did these characters come from? Did you dream them up one day? Were they inspired by events you experienced? Are they reflections of yourself? Let our listeners know.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. Like some of it is a reflection of myself. A lot of the stuff that does come to me actually does come to me in dream time. You know, a lot of my ideas and concepts for songs, lyrics, characters, it all will come to me in dreams. So, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna run with that. I guess that's what I'm doing. You know, and I feel like I'm very much being guided, you know, and shown that this is what you have to do. Here's the story, and here's what to do, you know. And yeah, Super Psychic Kitty, there's different aspects of it. You know, I dip into a little bit of like the history of cats and you know, their mystical properties and their relationship with humans, you know, dating back to ancient Egypt, you know. And then Mummified Pharaoh kind of represents an aspect of myself, you know, buried deep within, you know. Don't go waking them up.
So the layers of metaphor come through. Now tell our listeners a little bit about how they can find your music, find your work, find your comic books, and I believe you make t-shirts and so on and so forth. So let people know how they can get a hold of some of that and how they can get a hold of you if they want to book you or reach out and say, hey, you know, I'm a fan.
So Señor Gigio, that's S-E-N-Y, that's the N with the squiggle over it, O-R, and then Gigio, G-I-G-I-O. And I'm on all social media. Instagram seems to be the best way to communicate. I seem to get a lot of communication done on there, but I'm on Facebook too. Also, if people are interested in supporting my artwork and buying the music, buying the art, or buying my merchandise, my shirts, you can check out my website, which is www.senorgigio.guru.
One more time, remind folks, all streaming platforms, everywhere, the name of that album one more time.
Funklore.
Funklore, you heard it here. All right. Before you go, do you have any upcoming shows or anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, right now I am planning a show in Oakland at 7th and West. And it's going to be a great lineup of just very talented local Bay Area artists, and this will kind of be like my folklore show. Yeah, and then after that I'll be planning a little tour up the Northwest.
Okay, so going up towards like Oregon, Seattle. All right. Both Oregon and Seattle have like a strong hip-hop community. Yeah. I look forward to hearing what you do, to seeing what you're doing in the near future. Thank you for coming through the Radio Café. Stay tuned for what we have coming next. Right here on La Onda Bajita's Radio Café on 94.1 FM Berkeley, 94.3 FM Monterey, 88.1 FM Fresno, and 97.5 in Santa Cruz. This is Falcon saying goodnight.